of the basics are covered, foundations are there. So now I think this is where we can just geek out on something that we're both interested in. And I feel that is getting what we want, being intentional about achieving our business goals. And one thing I thought was really interesting when I was researching you for this episode was that you did a business management degree.
I did.
I also did a business management degree.
Okay.
There were 300 people on my course. Do you know how many people were on your course?
Similar.
Do you know how many people actually manage a business now?
Very, very few.
Same. What do most of them do?
Work some mid-level management job.
Yes, they work as consultants or they work as some kind of thing. Yeah, that is exactly the same for nearly everyone I did my course with. And I feel like this is just so symbolic of how we bumble through life, how we bumble through our careers, how we bumble through education. We don't really set the goals and then work back from there. We just go, business management degree, let's do that. That seems like a good idea. And even people who do a course like dentistry or they train to be a doctor, they don't really think about the day-to-day of being a dentist or a doctor. They don't think, okay, I'm going to have this commute to a practice, I'm going to be opening people's mouths, I'm going to be doing this, I'm going to be doing that, this is what I'm going to wear. It's like no one thinks this far ahead, and I think it's backwards. And I think there's this whole other way of achieving success that I've got a little system for that I want to run you through today, because I think it's so much better to the bumbling, so much better from the bumbling through life that all of us do so far.
Let's do it. That sounds interesting, because I mean, the amount of analysis that we do in our businesses every single day. Have you ever analysed why you even got to uni? Why did you even get there? No one in my family went to uni. I literally just told it was the conveyor belt I should take.
Yeah.
And there was only one guy on my course that I remember being the guy that I think is still brilliant. And he sat next to me in one of the modules that was called entrepreneurship. And the lecturer was an American lady who had a property portfolio. And she said to him one of the days when he was misbehaving or something, she said, you know, you're never going to run a big business. You're never going to be an entrepreneur. You haven't got what it takes, like me. Very sort of narcissistic. And he stood up, picked up his laptop and said, I've already paid for this university degree in full with the job or the business that I set up in my gap year. And now he runs, well, owns, I don't know if he's even involved anymore, with one of the biggest driving license, sort of online driving license for HGVs in the UK.
Nice.
And she is now mentored by him.
Yes.
So that's the only example of someone at my university that I know of where someone's really gone against the grain. But everyone else, like you say, it's gone straight into jobs, and they've now got houses and mortgages, and they're quote unquote happy with whatever they've got.
And this is honestly the education conveyor belt. And I think it's just because schools have to have their own mark scheme, which is just how many people can you get to university. So it was exactly the same for me. It wasn't, what do you want to do? It was, which university are you going to go to? And now I think I'm on balance pleased I went, because it taught me how to grow up, but it definitely didn't teach me how to run a business. I only learned that from doing it.
Which uni did you go to?
Sheffield.
Do you know how many people from Sheffield University have sold a business?
No.
I would guarantee it's just you.
So it might be. I think there are a few. I think there are some really cool people that have come out of Sheffield. But I partly know this because their alumni team really do keep in touch.
Oh, there you go.
And I've got a thing on the wall of Sheffield University which has got my powerlifting singlet in it, and it's got like my book in it, and it's basically just storage, because I'm a nomad, so I don't have anywhere to store stuff, so I just send it to the university and they put it on the wall.
You're like the best marketing for Sheffield.
It's
Jodie
really
Cook.
Easy. Yeah. So potentially there's a few, but I guess you're in the minority. Absolutely. Maybe if you do go down the business route, and if you start a business, sell a business, do everything else. But
also, I didn't do a business degree to start a business. I just wanted to be in business. I just wanted to be around, I wanted to be a finance bro. I wanted to go out there and get on the tube and go into town and have my coffee and work in the city. But that also doesn't mean anything. So I wasn't intentional at all with that either. I just wanted to do something that I thought at the time was sort of cool. And then I did a master's in economics, not because I thought I should do something with it, just because I thought I need to be different. And that was the next conveyor belt step. It was job or continue. And I was like, well, I'll continue. I worked alongside it, but it's another conveyor belt, isn't it? Which then a job becomes and a mortgage becomes. It's like there's always someone putting something in front of you to get you through life. Yeah. Maybe in a way to control you.
And it's not the way to be happy, and it's not the way to be successful.
No.
And I think that for lots of people, it takes that one moment of, what the hell am I doing with my life, to realize that they need to change something. And I know for you, it was quite a big accident.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, looking back, that was probably the best thing that's ever happened to me. Having that car crash and going, there's now a sort of fork in the road. Either you go back to what you were doing, being in your comfort zone, being safe, being happy. We were happy. Or you take a risk. and you go and try something. Because if it doesn't work, you can fall back on the degree, or you can fall back on the stuff you've done. But I think it's really sad when that kind of massive event happens to you too late. Maybe you're in your 70s or 80s and you're like, whoa, life's so short. It happened to me in my mid-20s. How lucky am I that there was no lasting injuries and I had that realization early on.
So I guess what we're going to try and do is make it so that everyone listening doesn't need to have a car accident to choose their new way forward, and help people get more intentional about everything and plan goals out and then achieve them without having this feeling that you're pushing and you're making lots of effort and you're really grinding and hustling. Because I used to think like that, but now I believe this is a whole different way.
And you've been writing a lot about this in Forbes, right? Your articles I've been reading are a lot about this mindset and this shifting sort of thing you're into. This is just maybe it's an occupational hazard. I find something that I'm really interested in and then I completely geek out on it. And on this topic especially, I'm so unbelievably not an expert. I'm like a few steps into this journey, figuring stuff out. But when I've started reading about how to really set goals, how to really make things happen, how to really achieve everything that you want to achieve, I look back and I think, I've done this by accident. Every time it's worked, it's because I've followed this method. But now there is a method. So what was the turning point where you did think, I should understand this better?
So if I look back at selling my agency, competing in powerlifting, starting to be nomadic and travel the world, everything I've done where I look back and I go, I'm proud of that. It wasn't that I stumbled into it. It wasn't that I education conveyor belted myself into it. It was that I said, no, this is what I'm going to do. And then I had these steps that led up to achieving it.
Okay, so do we know what the steps are?
Yeah, so I made an acronym. And actually, I want to caveat this first, that there are some absolutely amazing thinkers and writers in this space who go really deep in this topic. They understand the science, they understand all of it, like Neville Goddard, Rhonda Byrne, Dr. Wayne Dyer, Oprah, Dr. Jodie Spencer, Esther and Jerry Hicks, Gabrielle Bernstein, Deepak Chopra. Like, there are so many people who are actual experts in this topic. I'm just figuring it out as I go along. And so my method, I put the acronym CLAIMS in place, as in like Freddie claims what he wants, Jodie claims what she wants.
Nice.
So yeah, it kind of makes sense. Me and ChatGPT, we came up with it.
Are you giving it away now? Okay.
All together. Okay, so the first thing, and also we're going to run this through with you as well.
Okay.
I guess we'll both do it. We'll think of stuff that we want to achieve, the goals we want to achieve, and we'll run through this exact method.
Okay.
So the C in CLAIM stands for clarify. And this is where you state your intention clearly as if it's already happened. So it's like as an affirmation and it's in really clear terms. So for example, I have a top 10 business podcast, or I sold my company for $100 million, or I am bench press world champion. So can you think of one that you want to say right now?
I run one of the top 10 podcasts in the world.
I run one of the top 10 podcasts in the world. Okay, nice. So that is specific and clear. So I asked a friend about this, and he told me that he wanted to be a jacked millionaire.
Not clear enough.
Not clear enough.
What does jack mean?
What does jack mean? Does jack mean a certain body fat percentage? Does it mean a certain squat lift? Does it mean how you look? Does it mean what does jacked even mean? Does it just mean that you feel jacked, that someone calls you jacked? Don't know.
I wonder if I can guess who that was as well. I won't do it now.
Probably. But then you've also got millionaire. That's not actually clear.
No.
Because is that million net worth? Is that in £1 million, dollars?
Is it revenue?
Yen?
Is it profit?
Is it revenue? Is it profit? Is it what? It doesn't make sense. So I'm glad that you said that, because
I passed the first test.
a super clear one. Well, I guess also you can't get what you want unless you know what you want. And I also think you have to be able to recognize when it's true. So that moment when it comes true, what does it actually look like? And I feel like for Jacked Millionaire, you couldn't really go, now, because there's no marker in there.
What does it mean when you do achieve it though? What happens then? Do you then set another goal, or have you thought into that as well? Because I wonder, a lot of people I've spoken to who've sold a business, as an obvious example, they're like, I want to sell my business, I want to have enterprise value. And then they sell it and they go into manic depression and they really struggle to get out of it because that was the goal and they don't really know what the next thing is. Is there something in that sort of frame that you've thought about?
So how I would conceptualize this is, you feel like you're climbing a mountain And then when you get to the top of the mountain, you realize that you're in a mountain range, and there are loads of other ones, and then you get to choose. And often that mountain you thought was the biggest mountain ever is actually really small. But now you're almost, because you're at the top of your mountain and you can see the other ones, you don't feel like you have to go to the bottom and start again. You almost have this sense that, you know, like flying squirrels.
Yeah.
You almost have this sense that you can flying squirrel across to the next one.
I see.
And then you can get up the next mountain with different ace cars, different skills.
Oh, that's a great point, right? Because, you know, we could use you as an example. You've built your business, sold your business, but you're also, and you've built another business, but you're also one of the best network people that I know. You know everyone all around the world. So now if you've got a problem, you just go, well, who can I speak to there? So rather than going back down and starting again or Googling something, you can just go, does this person know?
Yep.
How can I take a shortcut